first thing I talk about. Are we excited this week or is this week feeling heavy? And if it's heavy, what feels heavy and what is the emotion? Once we can name it, we can identify the triggers leading into it. And once we can identify those triggers, then the next step is I call it the 2-minute rule. How long do you want to feel this overwhelm, burnout, frustration, whatever the negative emotion is? How long do you want to feel this way?
Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to the Multiverse Technology Podcast. Today's guest is Kasey, an executive coach, strategic advisor, and trusted thought partner for CEOs, leadership teams, and entrepreneurs. She's known for blending data-driven clarity with emotional intelligence to unlock confident decision-making and transformative growth. Kasey, welcome to the podcast today.
Yay! Thanks for having me, Justin. I'm excited.
I just get one of those sound bites in the background. People like tapping.
Yes, exactly. I hear the audience in my head. I hear it.
Okay, so I have good creativity too. Awesome. Well, I'd love to kind of walk the audience through a little bit about your journey, about who you are, how you became to be doing what you're doing, and then how you're
Yeah.
helping people.
Yeah, definitely. So I spent 20 years of my life practicing clinically as a dermatology PA, which seems very unrelated to what I do today. But when I was practicing as a dermatology PA, I was essentially operating as a chief of staff for the particular practice. And I was translating the vision into operations, helping manage the team, making sure things didn't fall through the crack and improve systems. And somewhere along the way, I got that entrepreneurial bug, like so many people get, and thought I'm going to go out and start my own. And from there, I started 3 businesses. One skincare company, which we took with a global distribution partner, and 2 coaching and consulting businesses. And that gave me really a front row seat into being the business owner and being the person to make those key decisions and being the one that was really in the driver's seat, combined with my prior experience. And I saw the struggles on both sides. I saw it emotionally. You're carrying so much weight as the business leader, whether you are the entrepreneur yourself or whether you're managing the team as a key leader, you're carrying so much emotional weight for every decision. And operationally, if you are an entrepreneur, you're trying to keep all the systems in place and not let things fall off the rails. And that's what brought me to where I am today. I've exited from the bigger venture. I retired from clinical care. I focus on my 2 coaching and consulting businesses. I work as a fractional chief of staff and executive leadership coach for scaling founders who are looking for the human side of leadership, how to balance that emotional intelligence with the operational systems that you need behind the scenes.
Oh, I love that. That's a really good background, especially being a dermatologist, chief of staff. I mean, I was like, you're a recovering clinical aholic. How's that work?
Right.
Recovering
Like
clinician.
exactly. Right, exactly. Right.
I
Yeah.
really I want to touch base on you talking about emotional weight. 'Cause I feel that's a huge thing for leadership today. 'Cause a lot of leaders, they haven't really gone on their own journey yet. They're just leading and they think they're doing it right. But there's so
Yes.
much more to that. Can we kind of get the nuances of that emotional weight? And how have you
Yes.
seen that? Yeah.
Right. I think that it's just it's not talked about enough. And emotional intelligence, I talk about it more and more, especially in the age of AI, where we're focusing so much on machine, which is amazing like for operation and speed. But the emotions of humans is never going to go away as long as we have the human race and human civilization. We have to deal with human emotions, and the critical decision making is exhausting. And people will go through the motions if you're a leader, and they will make decisions on the fly and do what they think is best in the moment, because maybe it's speed, maybe it's pressure, maybe it's external forces, instead of sitting back and really thinking about, I call it like the head, heart, and the gut decision making framework, the decision threshold. What do we know with head, with data? What are we looking at objectively, trends over time with data? What can we assess in either the marketplace or the internal micro team? What are we looking at from objective data point trends? Combining that with heart, how are we feeling either ourselves or our team? If we're going to make a decision one way or the other, is it going to energize us or the people around us? Or is it going to make people feel resistance and feel hesitation, or feel rejected, whatever the negative emotion might be in that decision. So how is that decision that's based on data going to emotionally impact ourselves as the leader as well as our team, and how do we mitigate that? And then regardless of the data and the emotion, if we take both of those things away, what's our gut check in this decision? Regardless of data and emotion, just like we just instinctually know that this thing is the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. And the data might say something different, or the emotions might say something different, but instinctually we're like, I just know I need to launch my own business, or I just know in my gut I need to let this key team leader go. Even the data might be good, their performance might be good, but I just know this isn't the right person for our culture. So these are some of the big decisions that we have to navigate as leaders, and we can't ignore the fact that there is emotional impact in those decisions.
I love that. I feel a lot of leaders don't really quite understand the human side, like you're saying earlier, how that can affect the company and the emotional side of all that. It's
Yes,
one of those things we really need to bring back in more to our leadership skills.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah. Say there's someone's been leading with like, I want to say like a iron fist for most of their life, which
Yeah.
is a lot of companies, unfortunately. What would you say to that person? Or how would you get through to him? What would that conversation go like? Or would you just strike
So
him down? I don't know.
we call that like the dictatorship leadership style, and certain people
Yeah.
have that dictator leadership style. Certain people have that democratic, what they want everyone's opinion before they make a decision, and some people are kind of the laissez-faire leadership, where they're sort of like, my team knows what they're doing, I'm just going to let them do their thing. So we have like three different types of leadership personalities that we all are working with all the time. We have the person who wants it their way, that's the only way. They're a bit closed-minded, and if you are somebody who is a very strong executor and implementer and you like direction, it can actually sometimes be a perfect partnership. So, it's really important to know your own leadership style, because some people love the clarity of the dictator style leader. They're like, "I know exactly what this person wants, what their vision is, and I'm aligned with it, and they're gonna tell me the North Star," I call it the Polaris point, where we're going in 3 years, what our vision is, and what we want, and my job is to take my area of expertise and propel that, and some people love it. Others, not so much. Others are like, "My voice is not heard. I feel like I am not as much of a trusted, respected member of the team." Those people gravitate more towards a more democratic leader that they like to work with or become. Then, of course, the laissez-faire leader is great for people on the team that want to take the lead, because the laissez-faire leader really empowers their team to step up, rise up, and if they're delivering, they're just applauding and cheerleading and coaching. So I think it's important to understand that the key leader of the team, whether it's yourself or somebody you're working with, they're going to naturally have a leadership style. Is it going to be, dictatorship, democratic, or laissez-faire? And recognize that about yourself, and if you are the core leader, and then as you build your team that works with you alongside you, who and is going to complement that natural style, and how do you slowly adopt a few of the other styles, because we can all benefit from being a blend of those 3, right? If you
Yeah.
stay in one track, you're limiting, but if you
Uh,
start to recognize, "Okay, I operate this way," it's hard to change the dictatorship style, but the other 2, it is, you can actually, if they want to change, they can learn the other skills. I think it's just super important, if you're the core leader, understand your style and how you build your team. If you're a senior team working for someone, recognize that leader above you. If they don't wanna change, identify which type of the 3 personalities that they are, and do you yourself, which one are you, and do you align with them? Because we're all leaders, we all fall into one of the 3, and so
yeah.
we need everybody around us to complement.
I love how you put that, especially with the part of the self leadership part, because so many of us don't know what that means. And then we kind of fall into this world of, oh, well, this, if you see you're on a team, you fall into this world of, well, I don't really align with this mission, the way he's treating me or the way this is going.
Right, right.
And it's kind of unfortunate. A lot of us, if we learn how to self lead ourselves, if we understand we go to these jobs or these places with these leaders, we would see if we actually align with them, their style, and their mission as well.
That's right.
A lot of people
That's
don't do
right,
that, I
because
feel.
A lot of people don't do that.
That's your job. That's it.
That's it. They just say that's their job, and so we can't change other people unless the other people want to be changed. We can influence culture, but we can't change other people. We can only be self-aware of ourself, and so when we talk about the word leadership, a lot of people just assume it means leading the team or leading the industry, and they forget the first step, which is leading yourself. And so, I look at it in 4 quadrants that are all connected, and the first one is, do you understand your industry, your business, the data, the objective part so that you can, from an intellectual standpoint, take this role to the next level? Like you've got the smarts and the brains here. That's step one. Step two is your self leadership. Do you know what you want, your own Polaris point for your professional goals, your business goals, your financial goals, your contribution goals, your lifestyle goals? Do you know what you want? And do you have the tools to be resilient when things and obstacles get in your way? The third is the team leadership, and the fourth is industry leadership. So most people hear the word and they assume team and industry. But the reality is, self leadership has to be so strong and solid
Yeah.
before you can lead the team or your industry.
I love how you put that. What you need to know what you want. If you
You
don't know
have
what
to.
you want, you don't know how you're gonna be. You're not gonna know how to lead yourself, and you're not gonna know how to be led.
That's right.
Like you said, being a good leader, you have to know how to follow and lead as well. I believe there's
That's
some
right.
caveats to that, but there's so much work we have to do on ourselves in order to get there that a lot of people don't do it. And it's like,
A lot of
what?
people
Come
don't do
on,
it.
your life
I
would
know.
be easier. It's
I
like
know.
choose your hard, but I guess I'd be out of the question.
It's so true. So it's easy to point our fingers at somebody you work for or somebody on your team, but above or below. It's so easy to point the fingers. It's them, it's them, it's them. They're the dictator. They don't respect, or somebody who works for you and they don't deliver or they don't communicate. But the reality is, are you leading yourself? Are you leading them as well? Both sides. And
Yeah.
it's critical. It's like the critical step in the puzzle that so many people are not self aware of their emotional state and where they want to go. Those are the two pieces of the puzzle: how to navigate their emotions and know that Polaris point.
What was some advice you give people to kind of get to that point? Like, say if they're part of a team that's not aligning correctly, like, oh, but I like working here, but they're unhappy, but they're just kind of not understanding why this is happening. What maybe
Yeah.
some advice you give that person?
Yep. So this is when it comes to that emotional intelligence. And I encourage people to identify what is the emotion. Is it frustration? Is it burnout? Is it overwhelm? Put a word on the emotion that you're feeling. There's something that feels off. You're not energized. We know that. And when I work with my clients one on one, the first thing I talk about, are we excited this week or is this week feeling heavy? And if it's heavy, what feels heavy and what is the emotion what can we name the emotion? Once we can name it, we can identify the triggers leading into it. And once we can identify those triggers, then the next step is, I call it the 2-minute rule. How long do you want to feel this overwhelm, burnout, frustration, whatever the negative emotion is? How long do you want to feel this way? 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, 6 months? What is the number for you?
10
Most people
years?
are going to say, like, I never thought about it that way. Minute rule, because when I was a kid, I had a temper tantrum, and my parents said, how long do you want to have your tantrum and not play with your friends? And I said, 2 minutes. And so I had my temper tantrum and they set a timer and they said, 2 minutes is over. And I stopped crying, wiped away the tears, and went to play with my friends. And so now I use that with my clients. How long do you want to feel crappy about this? And then if you want to feel energized again, then we need to look at those triggers and figure out, what do you have control over, and put a calendar date that you will make a decision and make a change. And that's it. Then it's over.
I love that. I actually just heard that term recently about staying in your emotions. Like, how long do you
Yes,
want this to last? You have to have the conversation consciously and subconsciously with
that's right.
yourself.
That's
So
right.
then you can limit that time of how far you're gonna go on that emotion, 'cause it can bring you
That's it.
down. I was
That's
like,
it.
"Whoa." The
That's
2
it.
that in my head, I was like, "Man." That could sometimes we get stuck in our stories in our head, and we go down this
Yes.
rabbit hole of delusion and emotional disconnect, a dissident. And we're like, "Wait, stop. How long?" Okay. And I'm like, "Whoa." It just stops the
That's it.
thought right there.
That's it. And you give yourself a moment to be human and feel the emotion. It's just like the 2-year-old version of me. I knew I couldn't stop the tantrum in that moment. I knew it was going to take 2 minutes. At that time, I probably didn't even know what
Might
time
take
was, but
10
I
days,
knew.
whatever.
Right. I knew there had to be a moment that I had to process the emotion before I could get over it. And so as adults, same thing. It just to your point, we spiral in our heads. We think all these limiting beliefs. We think it's too hard. We think we're stuck. We think it's other people's problems. We think there's no other option. We think all of this.
My life
How
is
long
over.
right. How long do you want to feel like that until you say, "No, there is an answer. There is a way out. There always is. It's always in a conversation with a person that is the answer to that negative emotional state."
I love that, and I've been there myself, especially in the corporate environment. I was there for so long in that emotional state, not understanding that I was in that state and not understanding how to get myself out of that state and having nowhere to really turn to look to about what I'm feeling or what's going on, let
Yes,
alone look to the people who would be leading me and take them seriously or be on the same mission as them.
that's
I
right.
had my own stuff going on. And I
That's
wasn't
right.
aware. They were
Right.
either weren't aware, didn't care, it wasn't their responsibility, it was mine.
Right. Right.
And that's what
Right.
happens to a lot of people in companies, no matter if it's in the 9 to 5 or being an entrepreneur. But there's these skills that we're not taught, that we should be learning these skills, like
That's it.
self-regulation, emotional intelligence.
Yes. Yes. And then and to your point, when you feel stuck, you're in the situation and you're feeling stuck in that environment. In your example, it was a corporate environment. In some other people, it might be the entrepreneurial or scaling stage, or for other people, you never know. Like whatever stage you're in, you
Yeah.
feel you people can feel stuck. It's so common. And the way around that, the tool that I use is called the three who's. And it is at any moment in time to have a collection of people at 3 different levels in your life. So you have a collection of people that are mentors or guides, people that have life wisdom, at least 2 or 3 people that have life wisdom that you can talk to
That's the
and
key
bounce
word
something
right
around.
there. I like that, life
Yes,
wisdom.
life wisdom, life wisdom.
Don't
So
talk to
that's
your
your one level of
16-year-old
who.
daughter about this.
Right. No, not your
Don't talk.
not your best friend, not your family or your sister or your brother. Those are great sounding boards. That's the other category. That's like our collaborators and our peers and other people that are going through something with us. And then we have our support system. Really, our friends that are in family are our support system. In some cases, it's a team if you're an entrepreneur. So 3 levels. Your mentors, your people with wisdom, your peers, people going through it, how they've navigated. They're in a similar stage of life, similar career, similar business, whatever it might be. And then your support system. At any time, if you have a balance of those 3, you're in great shape. You will come out of any place you feel stuck.
I love that, the 3 who's.
Yes.
I'm thinking about that on my side right now. Currently, right now, I have AI and maybe the dog next door, so I don't think
Right.
I'm really good with that just yet.
Right. I love AI, but AI, the one obstacle with AI right now is it only responds as well as you prompt it. So whatever you
Yeah.
put in, it will encourage you on that
Good
thing, but it's
job, go,
not.
go.
Right, it's so encouraging, and it will tell you have the greatest plan, but it's not seeing outside because it can't if you don't talk to somebody that has some other life experience that can recognize the outside roadblocks or hurdles or anticipate beyond. Right now with AI is fantastic when you feed it a prompt or you feed it something and you train it, it's great at the skill, but it's
Yeah.
still missing the periphery vision that life wisdom will bring.
I love that. I just learned that myself, so I hope to try to help me make a business plan for my business and to help
Yes,
me be better, like, how I approach things in my voice and language. And I realized, wait, it's to say, "Oh, good job, you're doing so well. I like
yes.
how this," and I'm like, "Hold on a minute, I don't think I prompted this correctly. You
Right.
shouldn't be telling me what I wanna hear." And
Right.
it takes time to kinda
Exactly.
go in there and tell it, like, what to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's only as good as we train it. And so in the current AI, now I eventually we'll get there, but the current AI right now, it's fantastic at execution, it's fantastic at data analytics and things like that. But when you're asking it for wisdom advice, it can't see the whole
Tell me
picture
the
yet.
meaning of life.
Yes,
What do you wanna
exactly.
hear? What? Do you want to hear? What?
Exactly. Right.
It reminds me of this video, I forget the guy, but I watched. There's this guy that prompts AI. He asks it very specific questions, like, "I'm gonna ask you a question, do this in 3 words, like, don't worry about my feelings." He's very specific how he does it,
Okay. Oh, I
and the
love
stuff
that, yeah.
that comes back is so deep, profound, and intense. You're like, "That was AI, it's better than most adults now. Whoa."
It's true, it's true. If
Yeah.
you prompt it really well, I've seen it write some, like,
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
poems and, like,
Yeah.
so moving that it brings tears to your eyes, and you're thinking, "Holy
You're
smokes,
like,
AI wrote that."
"What?" Did just, create world peace just now, end world hunger?
Right,
What just happened?
right, right. I hope it will do that. I hope
I feel it will be able to do that, but I feel there's an element that gets in the way, and that's the human element.
that's it. That's it. If we use it for the common good, it will be able to do that. If we use it for means other than that,
It
then
will do that too.
it's gonna do that too. Exactly.
Yeah, that's one of the common threads that we've been talking about. And I've always said to people, once we're to self-lead, heal ourselves, and go through that journey and know what it means to be human, to be us, that we
Yes,
can actually create better people, products, things in the world that actually help us be better humans. Like AI, it'll be
yes.
prompted better. It'll
Right,
be used the correct way. People won't
right,
want to do bad things to the people with it.
right,
But
right.
not all of us are going to go on that journey, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I know.
Yeah. And it's one of those things that I feel like I talked to you about. I know we got into AI somehow. I talk to people about there's going to be an inflection point here. And this kind of goes with what we were talking about. There's going to be an inflection point where AI is doing everything for us. And the
Yeah,
only thing that humans are going to have to do is to understand, know, and remember what it means to be human, find
that's
our
it.
purpose, self lead ourselves. And that's going to be that part of that human experience. We're going to have no choice but to do at some point.
That's so true,
Our
and it's
value it.
happening fast. It's happening so fast. I mean, the next 3 years is gonna be significantly impacted by AI for good or for bad,
Yeah.
and to your point, it's going to disrupt a lot of people's emotional state,
Yeah.
because whether their jobs are eliminated or whether they just feel less connection because they're mostly talking to, an algorithm, it's people, I think, use it for the tool, it's so powerful, but be aware that it is not, you have to remind yourself it's not human, even though it can write so beautifully and it can give these deep, these
People
deep
get connected with
responses.
it, like, they're starting
Yeah,
to fall in love with it. I'm like,
yeah,
"Whoa, whoa, whoa."
so true. I
That
know.
right there, I feel, is going down that road of being disconnected from our humanity,
Yeah,
our
it's true.
emotions, like, he's our emotional intelligence. We're so disconnected from ourselves, we just don't know who we are.
Yeah.
Like, how do we be what we aren't in our businesses, as our leadership, for our families, if we don't know who we are?
That's it. Those will be the people that will fall victim and fall in love with AI, an actual romantic
Yeah, yeah.
relationship with AI is the people that don't know themselves. The people that know themselves and are self-aware will have the boundary, and the people that are really lost in life, unfortunately, will be the ones that will fall victim to the negative side of AI when it comes to human emotion and human being.
Hey, my fellow humans, sorry to interrupt your video, but if you're looking for more ways to protect and empower your healthcare practice, we would love to help. At ITCMD, our mission is to simplify IT, boost security, and support your compliance journey with a human touch so you can focus on caring for your patients. Want to see how easy IT and cybersecurity can be? Schedule a free consult or check out our resources at iteecmd.net. Let's build a safer, stronger future together. Okay, bye.
Behavior.
For myself and my business, I'm working on building a company where I'm more connected with the people who are in my company and have these kind of conversations with them, giving them the tools to do these things and be better humans within my company. I'm
Yes.
curious if you're doing anything like that with yours from our conversation we had, like what may that
Yes.
may look like, what you would want to talk about.
Yes. With leading your team, you
Yeah,
mean?
seeing this
Yes.
company as a whole, yeah.
Yes, I think communication is key with your team. Communication and a supported accountability, I call it.
Whoa.
So the communication that this is what we're building. Are you excited about it? What do you want out of your career? What do you want? to become what would excite you about even more about your role, because let's build your role and define your role even more as we're building the entire machine. So then everybody's excited together, right? And then the accountability part of it is, how are we measuring performance, but we're supporting that. So if the performance is falling flat, do we need to coach or mentor somebody on the team, or do we need to provide a resource, or do we need to be more available to them for brainstorming? What is it about the performance that we can help support as the key leader? So we are doing it with them. Now if the performance continues to decline over a long period of
Well,
time,
then,
then that's a different story. But yeah, I look at everything in 90 days. So if we're doing a 90-day review and we're seeing something that isn't aligning, either their energy is off or the performance data is off, then that next 90 days, there's intentional conversations around, what do they want, their goals, how are we celebrating their wins, and how are we holding accountable and supporting at the same time for that next 90-day to look to review
yeah.
again.
I like that because I feel like as organizations and leaders, we need to have more of that on our shoulders to help our people succeed the best we can.
Yes.
But they have
Yes.
to do the work. That's the one thing that people don't realize, that you
Yes.
do have to do some work involved. There is an
Yes.
accountability you have to have as yourself. And I feel a lot of us, like we said earlier, they don't have it. So that comes over into the work life, into the teams. And we
Yes.
can only do so much as a company. We have to really, unfortunately, figure out what's the best course of action. Because
That's
I mean,
right.
want people to win, but
That's
no.
right. Not everybody has the work ethic, not everybody has the drive, and I think that's just important
Yeah,
when we're building our culture. Are we building with people with the work ethic and the drive that is aligned with the culture, that we want for the business? If you're starting something from scratch, does this person that I'm bringing on, whether it's a full-time or part-time contractor or full-time employee, either way, do they have that same work ethic that you have, that you expect from your team? And there's lots of, personality tests and behavioral
or get
assessments that
into,
people will
yeah.
do, like DISC or any of those, to Myers-Briggs, or whatever that one is. I always forget.
There's I know what you're talking
Myers-Briggs.
about, yeah.
Yes, yes. A lot of people will use these tools when they're bringing their team members on. I think a lot of it is a gut check and just asking the right questions when you're
I
bringing
do
on your
too.
team. And you can tell a lot when you ask the right questions, if that person is in alignment. And I think the other thing to think about is, with any business entity, you need three core personality types. You need the visionary, you need the manager leader, the person that has a lot of the operational skills, project management type skills, that can just get things done. They're really fast, really efficient.
The
They're not
operator.
afraid to lead the team. They're like the operator. And then you need sort of the worker bees, the people that are like, just leave me alone and let me do my thing. And so the ecosystem works best when you have the right balance of the visionary, the manager leaders, and the worker bees. And not everybody is going to be all three. So the secret is to build your team with the right combination and welcome the people that are worker bees. If just getting the job done, data entry, whatever it is, just like do it and clock in, clock out 9 to 5. Okay, great. But if you're looking for more of that leadership person, more of that manager leader, pay attention to the clues. Yeah,
I love that, and I have a problem with the worker bees, and I'll tell you why. And also with worker bees, that those jobs are gonna be phased out with AI.
they are. They
And
are. Yes.
that's when I have a problem with those jobs because I feel that a lot of people doing those, they could be doing so much more. They don't need to be doing this busy work. They should be
Yeah.
doing things to empower themselves, but they get stuck in that worker bee mentality.
Yep. Yep.
And
And they
like,
just want to clock in and clock out.
yeah,
Sadly, a lot of them are going to be replaced with AI. I agree with you 100%. Those are going to be very few and far between, unless it requires a hands-on touch, like our colleagues in medicine,
yeah.
where if you have to physically touch somebody. But other than that, you're drawing blood or something like that. Although eventually, I suppose that could be robots too. So you
Hello,
never know.
I'm taking your blood. Hello, Sandy. Who are you? I don't know if I'd like that too much. I still want someone who has this kindness, because I know when I was in the hospital, I talked to healthcare nurses. They were just so kind, so
Yes.
patient. They're just the nicest people. They're doing it for such that right cause. They're being there to support you.
Yes.
I don't know if I'd
Yes.
like that.
I know. Same. I'm not excited about medical providers becoming AI, humanoids. I'm not excited about that.
Only there's a lot of things you can use AI for, but there's a lot of things that you should not. I think some companies are kind of finding that out,
Yes. Yep.
because they've been doing stuff like resumes or interview stuff. And I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, and how's that been going?
Right. Right. Yes.
Ooh.
HR using I don't know about using AI for HR roles. I don't know about
Maybe
that.
some of the automation stuff, but not the
Right.
human part. You need that
Exactly.
human still. I think
I
we're
agree.
starting to figure that out. I
Yep.
think that it comes back to our humanity. We need to be human with other humans, humans helping
Yes.
humans.
Totally.
Yeah.
Agreed. I agree. Yeah.
Well, Casey, it's been a really fun talking with you. I really enjoyed the dives you went into here. It's been
Yeah.
fun. I'd
Thanks for
love to
having
have
me. It was
you.
a lot of
Yeah, I'd love to have you back on here too. We're going to deep dive into some stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I'm writing a book, so it's hopefully will come out 2026, so that'll be the perfect time. We can
Get
come
on
back and
back on
see.
here. We'd love to have you.
Yes, yeah, would be great.
Hell yeah. Is there anything that you would like to leave our audience with and where they can reach out with you?
Yeah, definitely. Certainly I would love to connect. LinkedIn is where I am the most, a little bit on Instagram. Those are the two platforms I'm the most on at Kasey D'Amato. So my name, KaseyDamato. And I think, just to leave with words of, advice is that you're definitely not stuck and you're not alone. And I think that's where so many people feel trapped in their leadership journey and they feel like they're the only one making these hard decisions and all of the emotional weight is on them and it does not have to be that way. Build your three who's, you have the right conversations and the right guidance and recognize your emotional state and how long do you want to be in it. Take control to make that change without the fear.
I love that. And I've been learning from these conversations. When you have your leadership team, your admin team, have a fucking coach also.
Yes,
Have a
yes,
coach.
yes.
Like, I've learned that now from all these conversations.
Yep. It's game changing. Yes.
Yeah. What's the
Yeah.
worst thing that can happen? You don't become a better person? Okay, you're back to where you are. Cool.
Right. And
Right?
and every coach is gonna bring a different perspective, you're gonna stack your skills and, yes, it's game
You're
changing.
gonna not just move, you're gonna flow.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Before we go, I got one last question for you. And that is, what does it mean to you to be a human being?
Wow, that's a great question. Being human is recognizing your emotions and the highest of the highs, accepting the lowest of the lows, but living life knowing that you want to bring your greatest gifts to and your greatest emotional state to others, to let people borrow your high emotional state, loan it to people around you because AI can never do that. So live in your highest high and allow people around you to take that energy on loan.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Casey. It's been wonderful having you on here. And
Yes, thank you so much.
have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.
Bye-bye.